First, if some of you haven't heard about RedStone, First, I will tell you a few words about myself. So what was my journey? I graduated Warsaw School of Economics in Warsaw, quantitative methods in economics. So I was always very interested in economics, statistics, and these kind of number games in economy. Got interested in Ethereum in late 2017, wrote my bachelor thesis about blockchain use cases in 2018. And in 2018, interestingly enough, I somehow coordinated creation of a tool allowing to track ransomware Bitcoin transactions. One of the use cases was police in Poland. So in 2018, imagine someone is doing a ransomware attack on your laptop, is blocking all your data and is sending you a Bitcoin address, saying you send me 10 Bitcoins over there and I'm going to unlock your laptop. You're doing so. You go to the police and then the police says, what can I do with this magic internet money? I have no idea how to track this criminal list. So we're trying to create a solution that nowadays there are plenty, like elliptic, chain analysis, and so on, where a policeman could track each transaction from the address, and usually it ended up on an exchange to go to a fiat, which was like a very interesting stuff to do at the time. Then I worked as a PM in software dev shop and joined Google Cloud in 2020. In 2021, joined the technical founder of RedStone, Jacob, on a journey of building another Oracle on Arweave. So straight before my presentation, there was a video about Arweave and AO. We've started an incubation program of Arweave, which was very good to kick things off and get the initial fuel for the beginning. Recently, we raised our Series A, $50 million, led by Arrington Capital, that is founded by the founder of TechCrunch and Crunchbase, some of the reputable technological platforms. Altogether, we raised to date over 22 million. Also have notable angels that not necessarily always angel, like Alex Gluchowski or Emin from Avalanche, which kind of also confirms that there are people in the space that believe in what we are doing. We always love to do research and reports, because when there is like a new narrative, for example, restaking or Oracle extractable value or whatsoever, first thing we'll do is try to strip it down, learn as much as possible, and create a report or some educational piece, because we learn on the way and we can also share our knowledge around. And we are a team of 30 right now, usually cool folks, mainly in Warsaw, in Poland. And we constantly grow as the team itself. Last slide about RedStone. Right now, we are the fastest growing Oracle on the market and top 3 on the charts. We have over 100 clients supporting over 60 chains and secure $4 billion. And Oracle is a service that delivers data feeds on chain. The biggest one is Chainlink. The second biggest is PIF. And by many metrics, we are the number 3, for example, by number of clients. Some of our notable clients, Morpho, that recently raised like $50 million again, Venus protocol, leverage protocols like Gearbox, Delta Prime, staking protocols and restaking protocols. For example, Lombard is an interesting one, like liquid Bitcoin staking that is coming into tranches right now. Yesterday, they launched private beta, and in 1 hour, they collected $250 million of TVL, just like this, because of Bitcoin whales. And yield protocols like Pendle, which has been a pretty interesting one in the past months. There's also Vida and many, many others. And here, a big shout out to all RedStone developers, because oracles, the first thing that has to do is to be reliable and deliver accurate data that is not manipulated. And our developers are working around the clock to make sure that we don't have any problem. And knocking the wood, we are the only biggest player that has never had a single manipulation or mispricing that affected any of the client. So glad to also be able to say so. All right, let's go to the meat of the presentation, right? So lessons learned. I tried to divide them into 3, let's say, categories, because I don't know who exactly is at the audience. So some of them will be for founders, majority of them actually, because I'm one of the co-founders, so it's the easiest for me. GTM folks, so go-to-market folks, like people doing marketing, BD, community, and so on, and engineers. So I also tried to target the group that I pretend I understand, right? Because I'm not an engineer myself, but believe me, I do all my efforts to understand architecture and be as close to engineering and the product and the tech as possible. The first lesson, and it's mainly for the ones that are not really into trenches with DeFi yet, is study DeFi. Understand key mechanisms of DeFi well. Because the moment you start working in this space and you're, have thousands of tasks to do, it's very hard to, find a proper time to understand some primitives. And the 10 that I would very much recommend to study is seed phrase and wallets. So how to manage your seed phrases, what is the hot and cold wallet, what kind of wallets out there. It's not only MetaMask, there are way more. And actually MetaMask, I do use MetaMask daily. I can tell you, but definitely I don't keep my majority of my assets on MetaMask, right? Like it's useful, it's convenient, but it's not the end game for wallets, in my opinion. How Ethereum works. So you can argue, hey, there's Solana, there's Avalanche, there are many other chains, but without any question, Ethereum is the most mature one with the most of developer tooling, the most of people that are excited about stuff that is going on within the ecosystem. So understand how smart contracts work, mempool, blocks, Ethereum virtual machine, compatibility, and so on and so forth. Layer 1s and layer 2s. So what a sequencer is, what's the difference between optimistic and ZK rollup, what is rollup as a service, which right now is a pretty hot topic as well. Stablecoins, so read about Tether, also maybe a bit of a history, like how it came into existence, why Tether is mainly used on centralized exchanges, whereas USDC from Circle is mainly used on decentralized exchanges and DeFi itself. How DEXs work, which is like, I would say, probably the most important, like primitive in DeFi. So exchanging assets, what's slippage, impermanent loss, LP, use Uniswap, get burned with Uniswap, pay 50% slippage on a shitcoin that you're trying to buy, whatever. Like do those mistakes. You can do it on testnet, or you can do it with small amount of money, right? Like 50% if you're doing a transaction of $5 is not that costly, and then you're going to feel it. And it's better to do it that way than when you're doing a swap of like $2,000 or something more meaningful. Lending, which is another like backbone of DeFi. So what's collateral, liquidation dynamics, use Aave, Morpho, create a position, make sure that you're liquidated with the position so you understand how it works in practice when you're hitting the liquidation threshold. Like, honestly, for example, this is a rule I have no time myself to set up. I've never set up a lend position that was liquidated because I was always afraid. And actually, I would like to see how it works, like to feel getting liquidated in a small position I control rather than 1/3 of my value. CDP stablecoins, so play with MakerDAO, now it's called Sky, and DAI. Liquidity, there's also a very interesting CDP one that you can use only ETH against to mint stablecoins. What staking is. Okay, and now super important thing for people who are not familiar with staking and liquid staking. My claim is that staking and liquid staking will become one of the most important primitives in crypto. The reason is, in traditional finance, to my knowledge at least, there is no popular product where you can buy a stock and then earn yield on that stock. So you buy Tesla stock, and as you hold that Tesla stock, you get more of this Tesla stock. And this is essentially what liquid staking is doing, right? So doing RWA, so basically tokenizing bonds, okay, that's cool. We should keep doing that, but this is like bringing a primitive from traditional finance on-chain. And here we have a primitive that is, let's say, new, something that can be truly groundbreaking as the whole ecosystem grows. Bridges and oracles, so understand what the difference between bridge and oracle is. And in my words, I would say bridge is just transferring assets between chains, and oracle is responsible for delivering data to on-chain environments or dApps directly. Use layer 0, Axelar, Wormhole, study Chainlink, RedStone, and other protocols. And understand the difference between, okay, this one is not DeFi, but I'm getting asked so many times, but let's say new people that are coming into the space, hey, what's this market cap and fully diluted valuation? Like, is actually, I think WorldCoin is one of these coins that has tremendous FDV, but market cap relatively, let's say, still within a reasonable range. There's a website, I don't remember it exactly, but if you type into Google fully diluted valuation crypto ranking, and then you juxtapose that with CoinMarketCap, you're going to see, because CoinMarketCap, what it's doing is ordering all the coins with market capitalization, which means how many coins are out there in circulation multiplied by price of one coin. Fully diluted valuation is when, for example, I create a new coin, let's call it Marcin coin, that has a supply of 1 million, and I sell one coin to my fiancé for, I don't know, $1 million. I can create crazy FDV, even though the market cap is going to be fairly small. So understand these dynamics to know how to also value the projects themselves. Second lesson, join a dev session early. So if you are not within the space again, understand that developers of Web3 not necessarily code smart contracts. And actually, I can tell you in RedStone, we don't have that much smart contract work because we create our smart contracts. And right now, mainly it's like backend job or integrations with the other dApps and environments. So to materialize that, you can come, for example, tomorrow at 4 p.m. To a workshop by one of our integrations engineer who has been in the crypto space for 3 or 4 years. And is also like a very cool dude, Charek. So tomorrow at 4, if you'd like to get into beginning of the ecosystem, join over. Keep learning, and I think this is very cliche, but it's very many times omitted. And find a system for that. It's not the learning that you realize, hey, I don't understand something that's going to help you very much. It's more like if you build a system during busy days to keep educating yourself and being in front of all the news that is out there, it is very, very helpful. For example, find a dude that is a researcher or that is very interested in crypto, and from time to time go on a coffee with him, or like basically come over on the party that people want to just hang out and ask him about what's new in DeFi, what's happening with restaking, what's difference between Karak, Eigenlayer, and Symbiotic, and so on. So like a crypto research dude is always nice. A specific tool I've started to using recently is called Kaito AI. And though the platform itself is paid, there is like a public group on Telegram that is called Overheard over Twitter, where they summarize with AI all the major metas that are happening on Twitter on crypto once every 24 hours. And to me, it's fantastic. I'm just using that to understand what's in majority people talking on Twitter, and it helps a ton. And find a podcast or like some of form of a news that you're following regularly. For me, because I started like way earlier, I found one day DeFi Dad, and I really enjoy like the way he's approaching episodes and stuff. It can be Bankless, it can be some other producer, but just find something and consistently look at that. And the reason I put it as top 3 lesson is I remember the first moment, and here shout out to Matt, head of BD at RedStone, when there was a call like approximately 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, when I was so occupied with day-to-day work that when we were hopping on calls with clients, he was more educated than me. Like he's telling words that I don't understand. I was like, I cannot allow that. I just need to find a system in my everyday amount of work to keep being on top of things. Because once you get obsolete, this industry, doesn't allow you to do so. This is for founders. Early on, build a super strong fundament for the team, not like a team, that team. Like this has to be like your truly stronghold as you progress within the company. Rock solid team that enjoys working together. To give you some examples, one of our fellows like Philip, when he went to Dubai, he's so dedicated to wearing RedStone merch. When it was 40 degrees outside, he was still wearing a vest that is designed to wear probably like when it's 0 degrees, not like 40. So he was truly like within the trenches in our brand. Ourselves, we have an office in Warsaw, which we found extremely valuable because people can grab coffee, interact in person, which is amazing. And basically, even something as simple as gathering people once a year for Christmas party, it is very cool. And it helps a lot to mingle with people and create something more meaningful over a longer term, especially that crypto is known for turnover. And here I can tell you an interesting statistics. There was never a person in RedStone team that willingly left the team, like said, hey, I exit to a competition or whoever. Like we did tear apart like with some team members, but not because they wanted to go somewhere else. And with RedStone, we are recruiting right now, mainly backend engineers. So this is our bread and butter. We need good backend engineers to make sure that the system holds, as I said in the beginning. But we also recruit people that are very hungry in terms of marketing and BD. areas, especially young ones that are willing to make their hands dirty and want to work hard and go on a journey together with us. So if you're looking for a maybe new journey, you can reach out to our team, come over to our booth that is outside and chat with the team. Poland rules, and you can experience that. And the reason I'm telling it is mainly for Poles, because when I go to international conferences over these 3 years, I felt more and more interest in Poland. The reason is we are growing as a country. There is more and more dev talent, but also BD, marketing, and whatever other position talent. And basically, as a country, we are expanding. We are not shrinking. So ETHWarsaw is a very good example. So we are also maturing as the conference itself. And Poles are hungry for success. So even yesterday, I was talking with a random French guy, and he said, dude, like in Poland, everyone's working so hard. In France, everyone's just looking for taking days off or like fighting for additional 3 hours. And here, people strive for success. These are not my words, but I would say in general, here is like a very good environment to create a team. And this is also one of the reasons with RedStone. Right now, almost 90% probably of the team are Poles and mainly located here in Poland itself. These are words of Sam Altman, I think, from last year. I don't know what Poland does as a culture and a system to create such engineering and research talent. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI and co-founder of WorldCoin. So it shows internationally we are also more and more recognized, and we should be proud of that. There is a really cool video for foreigners and also Polish people in YouTube. If you type Rise of Poland, that shows some economic justification for what I'm saying right now. Work hard, and this is mainly probably for founders, but I also added GTM engineers over here. And if you're willing to go the founder road, be ready to dedicate yourself to the company. And probably you're familiar with work-life balance. So this is basically me playing Uno in 2021 when I decided to join RedStone. I drew the 25 cards of recruitment, legal, taxes, BD, marketing, doing whatever, right? So it's like founder journey is very, very hard, and there is no work-life balance. There is 24-hour a day, and this is your decision how you're going to dedicate that and juggle, let's say, personal life and the founder responsibilities. It is hard, but it's also very, very rewarding. And I can tell you, this is a real picture from my apartment that my fiancée took when I hopped off after 10 calls in a row going for a lunch. So and she asked, everything is okay? I was like, yeah, of course, like it's an easy day, right? So you have to be ready for that. But the big plus is, at least myself, maybe it's just my kind of character, but I'm very at peace with myself, even if we fail as RedStone. That I'm doing all I can do to make sure we are achieving the success we are in a good position to get. But if we fail, I will be like, okay, I've done all the measures I could have done to get over there. And I also hear from our team that they respect that. I mean, they respect that they see that I'm working hard. It's not like I'm just going on conferences, and of course I do as well, and it's nice. But when I'm on a conference, it's not like I'm just giving a speech. I'm giving a speech, I'm finding a quiet place to work, and then respond all the messages and try to push things forward, right? So this is part of the founder's journey. And this is a classic crypto in general. Like if you're entering crypto as whatever, like GTM or engineer folks, be ready that people will be like, oh, you look very good. You don't look stressed at all, right? Here, a very related topic, partner up, find a partner that supports you. And here I'm talking about your co-founder, so someone that you're spending many time every day with, struggling with, any obstacle that you see on the road. But I'm also talking about the partner for your life. So a person that will understand it's not 9-to-5 job, that you sometimes have to manage the stuff that is happening. Crypto doesn't sleep. And here is like a recent tweet that sparked quite a lot of attention about a girl that found her boyfriend on Friday night preparing for Y Combinator presentation, and she made sure he's fed, do his laundry, cut his hair, and basically kind of like babysit him. And I'm not saying this is like too crazy to me already, but this is a standard one. This is a picture again with my fiancée when we go on a vacation. Whenever I say no work emails at holidays, and then I take out my phone and start working on Telegram, Discord, Twitter, HubSpot, or whatever other tool that is available out there, just to be plugged and know what's happening, right? Because crypto never sleeps. So a partner that is supporting you on the way, both in terms of, let's say, the co-founder, but also the partner for your life, is tremendously important if you would like to go the founder journey. If you're a founder and you go the race or whatever, manage your burn. I mean, throughout 3 years, crypto is crazy with some of the raises. Like ourselves, like 15 mil, I'm pretty happy. It's quite a substantial amount of money, but I've seen bigger. Like, I'm not going to name startups, but there were like $80 million seed rounds or like even bigger ones. And I saw these founders throwing parties for millions of dollars in like, I don't know, Dubai or Singapore or other expensive cities. And they started to burn as hell. 90% of startups fail. It's not my statistics. It's something that Y Combinator published as well. And in my opinion, in crypto especially, is because they don't understand a very simple equation. Business model equals revenue minus cost. Like you need to make revenue and you need to make sure that your costs do not like explode when you start scaling, right? And keep thinking about that if you're a founder. Because as I go to conferences, I realize that many people talk about the coin. Like launch a coin, you're going to get infinite runway and whatsoever. Fine, it can work for like shorter period of time. But then eventually like everyone should have a business model. Maybe not everyone, but majority of the companies should have a business model out there. So don't burn cash like crazy before you find product market fit or generate already revenue. So once you've hit the product market fit, then you can start burning money to make sure that the revenues start growing, right? But before you do so, spending like crazy on marketing or other stuff is not necessarily the way to go, at least in my opinion. Conferences are really good for testing interests. Like cost of sending a person to a conference like ETHWarsaw is fairly affordable. And over there, it's like a perfect ground for testing the go-to-market, the product, just getting feedback from people. Hey, it doesn't make sense. For example, with RedStone, I remember my first conference like internationally was ETH Lisbon 2021 after COVID, because before, you remember, there was this crazy illness, COVID, that kept everyone at house. Like people, I believe some forgot already. And over there, when I tested like the first version of RedStone, no one cared. Like why are you building this? So we did a lot of iterations based on feedback that we got from clients in the very, very, very early days. Be creative to leverage your network and unfair advantage. And I think to a founder that raised or is already having a sort of a product, it's one of the advices I would very much emphasize, because if you're building a bridge or you're building a DEX or you're building whatever, first thing you do, you look at competition and you think, okay, they're doing this very well, they're doing this very well. You're not thinking, turn the table around, like think, okay, what kind of unfair advantage I have? What kind of people I know I can use for my distribution, I can use for my promotion? Maybe I met 2 years ago a guy that right now is like, I don't know, a high person in Binance. Maybe I can message that person. So kind of like, be creative, find a calm moment, and think about the leverages you as a person or you as a team have to use in your go-to-market, which, for example, in our case is being in Poland. Like, I mean, we could have, like we had really good engineers or other people that wanted to work for us from all over the world, but we strategically took decision, hey, Poland is amazing, and this is a hub where we want to create a very solid team that has culture, that has values, and, you know, like works together strongly. Another one for engineers, build solid Web2 engineering fundamentals. So this is something empiric that we see when people apply to RedStone. Sometimes they just believe they're going to become good Web3 engineer without knowing good Web2 stack or like having some experience. Web3, I would say, maybe it's, yeah, I would say it's probably a bit another level of complexity, because you are using all the tooling usually from Web2, and then you're adding some sort of communication with the Web3 products, functions, or whatsoever. And in Web3, actually, you're not doing that much solidity, as I told you. It's more about understanding communication and edge cases that can happen when creating this kind of application. And for that, it's very good to have a first job in an environment that helps you do these first steps. So if you're an ambitious dev or an ambitious engineer and you join a team with whom you can meet, also go for a lunch, ask like non-starter questions that you wouldn't ask on public meetings, it is very helpful for an onboarding process. Because if you join a remote startup and you are just lost alone, one person in one city, then it's very hard to just DM someone on Discord, hop on a call. It's a bit of a different interaction. And with RedStone, again, as I said, we are recruiting. So if you would like to embrace the Web3 ecosystem industry, so far, okay, at RedStone, at least my idea, and Jacob, who's the technical founder, is that we are kind of like a football teaching club. So we take a lot of younger, very hungry and ambitious developers and people who would like to do their career, and then we try to grow alongside with them. Like the company grows together with the people rather than just skimming the most experienced folks out there. It's pretty hot in here, right? Isn't it? Wow, I'm still feeling like a bit dizzy, but anyway. Last but not least, because it's like a decalogue, right? Like, so there has to be 10. Get to know people. And I think this is a single one thing I really don't like to brag, but I nailed in 2020 and 2021 when I started. I was like, when I didn't have that much stuff to do ongoingly, I created a vast network of people. I was approached by people at conferences. I was approaching people at conferences, getting their contacts. And right now it's paying off. Like, just to give you some tangible examples, last week we had a call with a guy from Jito, like one of the biggest staking provider on Solana. And he's like, hey, I remember I met you like 2 years ago. It was still very early with RedStone, but you seem very passionate about, and that's the reason I remember about you, right? You never know what a person you're going to randomly meet at ETHWarsaw is going to do in 2 years. Maybe he's going to do a unicorn and is going to be your perfect client or whatsoever. The Web3 space has a very interesting dynamic. It's small. It is small, and it's still very, very early. So probably there is like, I don't know, 500, maybe 1,000 people working Web3 in Poland right now, like full-time, being dedicated. And working Web3, I'm rather talking about, let's say, the dApps and technology rather than meme coin trading or whatsoever, because here I focus more on that front. So make sure you nurture your network in that space, both in Poland and globally, because the world is very small. And the moment people start recognizing you, these people talk and you create like a graph of your network that then starts to spread knowledge about you or your company within this network. So people start passing and doing intros and whatsoever. And it's definitely not too late for that. Like, if I were to enter the AI space or, I don't know, SaaS space, that's probably a bit too late because it's so big and there are so many new things popping out. But Web3, in my opinion, is still small enough to do that kind of strategy. And then these were like the lessons for people who are not willing to jump into, let's say, Web3. As RedStone, we are running right now RedStone Expedition that will be gearing us toward like a big launch that's going to happen somewhere at some point. You can become a miner. So RedStone, what's the origin story of the name of RedStone? So RedStone is one of the resources in Minecraft that you need to create like cool stuff. And Jacob was playing with his son Minecraft, and he was like, hey, you need RedStone to build cool stuff in Minecraft. So you need RedStone in Web3 to also build cool DeFi protocols and whatsoever. So we have miners as our ambassadors, and we have a lot of interactions with top DeFi protocols such as Pendle, Venus, globally all the time. I'm not sure if I will be able to. Okay, never mind. I just wanted to show the website as well, but it's not like so crucial. Yeah, and these were like the major lessons. If you would like to ask me anything more private as well throughout the journey that we've done, feel free to grab me later after the talk. We also have a booth as RedStone. You can. We have also a photo booth that you can take a picture over there. And yeah, I think we have still a moment for questions, do we?
Minus 5 minutes.
I see 1 minute, 20 minutes, 20 seconds here.
It's okay. Let's wrap it.
Wrap it, okay. Okay, so I'm wrapping it up. So if you would like to ask any questions, you can catch me after the talk. Thank you very much, and I hope you found at least something over here useful. Thanks.